The Premier League. Chelsea and Arsenal played to a 2-2 draw on Saturday at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea going up 2-0 before Arsenal got second-half goals from Declan Rice and Leandro Trossard. Funny thing about Arsenal, their manager Mikel Arteta, he's found himself talking about goalies quite a bit of late. Same case after this 2-2 draw on Saturday. Let's listen in.
There were chants for Aaron Ramsdale from the Arsenal supporters. Just what was your feeling?
Great. I love him. I will sing as well for him every single day. We sang a lot for him yesterday because he was a father. The most beautiful thing to do, and he's someone that has this charisma and personality and is very loved around the team.
All right, for more on the situation at Arsenal, we'll talk some Chelsea as well. Great to welcome in Nedum Onuoha, Julien Laurens still with us. Shaka, though, I'll start with you. Interesting about that. After the game, Mudryk has come out and he said that he knew Raya was going to be off his line on the goal because the Chelsea goalie coach had told him.
He's given himself the chance to say whatever he wants to say. He executed it. He said somebody told him, and maybe he knew that he was off his line. For me, it looked like it was a left foot sort of cross to the back post, and it's not the worst sort of like dig out, but you know, as Shaka's saying there, Raya's in a funny position. Maybe he saw it, maybe he thought, maybe put something towards that back end. But I think any player that will attempt something like that with a weaker foot, they're either very confident or very lucky. So Mudryk said he meant it. Mudryk did what he wanted to do.
Jules, I see that smile on your face. What's behind it?
I don't believe a second that that's exactly what he wanted to do. I mean, and even post-match, he said that he tried something in between, which again, it doesn't make any sense. You don't try something in between a shot and a cross. It's either a shot or a cross that, at this level. You know, maybe me playing, maybe I try. I mean, even Shaka playing on the field, maybe, but not someone like Mudryk. Come on. So well done to him because he scored. It should have been a big goal. You know, it should have been a big goal for Chelsea. In the end, it's still a goal that matters because they got a point. They should have got more in that game. But yeah, he didn't, come on, he didn't mean that.
Shaka, it wasn't the only mistake from Raya. There continued to be these, for lack of a better word, kind of nervy moments.
To play that ball to Declan Rice there, when Cole Palmer is just ahead of Declan Rice, when Caicedo is closing him down from midfield, even if the ball gets to Declan Rice, he is in a whole heap of trouble if he gets that ball. So the execution was poor. The decision, I'm not sure which was worse, to be honest, the decision or the execution. So what is the sense of making or even trying that pass? And again, it's a conversation that we've been having almost by the game with David Raya since he's come in for Aaron Ramsdale. And I'm not sure what to make of it all. I really don't, because was it 2-0 at that point? That goes in. Listen, at 2, I thought Chelsea would have seen it out. Another goalkeeper mistake to talk about there. But at 3, surely, it's game over.
So Mikel Arteta has told us that kind of form would be the deciding factor when it comes to goalies. To that end, Jules, do you think we've seen enough?
Oh, hold on. Wait, sorry, I need to cut you off there. Form was not the deciding factor.
No, but that's what was said.
Form was not the deciding factor in Ramsdale getting dropped. And so while, no, I'm not having to go you here, fine. Mikel Arteta says that. But that's not true. That's convenient. Form was not the deciding factor in Aaron Ramsdale getting left out, regardless of how it wants to be phrased.
Okay, let me ask you then what I was going to ask Jules. Is the form now from Raya bad enough to consider going back to Ramsdale?
I think Arteta will stick with him because he's boxed himself into a corner. I think he's made this. And it was this kind of, and I complained about it at the time, this weird precursor about, well, there were a couple of times I wanted to change my goalkeeper during the game. I mean, everything about it was just odd. And now he's found himself in a pretty similar position that he did with Havertz, where it's good. I don't think it's as bad as it was with Havertz, but it's very close to it, where he has no other choice but to. And I don't quite think he's there yet. But again, I think even more than with Havertz, he has boxed himself into this. Because at least with Havertz, he brought him in the summer. He was trying to give him some time. But now he's left one player out to bring in Raya, and again, in my opinion, there wasn't a good reason for that. And now he's trying to figure out how to adjust and save face, given some of the things that he said.
Jules, what do you think? Has Arteta boxed himself in here?
I think Raya, I agree with Shaka. I think Raya will keep his place. He will play against Sevilla on Tuesday night. There's no doubt. I mean, okay, there's that mistake on the Mudryk goal. There's the mistake for the back pass, the pass for Rice. Sorry, that Palmer intercepted. I just don't think that's enough for Arteta to rethink it or to change his mind and to again swap goalkeepers and change goalkeepers. Ramsdale was not on the bench because he had a little injury at the weekend. So I don't know exactly how fit he is. But at the end, the fact is, Arteta likes the distribution that Raya has. Not that pass, but in general, especially going a bit longer, going long with accuracy. We saw that against City. We saw that with good effect against PSV Eindhoven in the Champions League, for example, on match day 1. And I think that's why he's going to keep his place. There might be a time, maybe later in a few weeks, if Raya is continuing in this kind of form, that outside of the distribution, there's going to be a debate. But right now, I don't think there's a debate.
Nedum, you're a defender. Who would you prefer to have behind you? What do you make of this Arsenal goalie situation?
Well, to be honest, I have slightly different views to Shaka and slightly different to Jules, because for me, I think as the watching public, one thing we need to accept is that the way in which these goalkeepers are playing now is here to stay. And I think the issue really, sometimes we consider it to be execution and intent, but the managers, they want the intent, but they've got an issue with the execution. So as long as people continue to do the right thing according to what the manager wants, even though it seems like a risky pass from our perspective, then they'll keep doing it. I think we saw Brighton, for example, last year with Caicedo, with McAllister. They'd come to within 5 yards of the goalkeeper and be getting pressed, but that would be the setup to go and do something else. So I think that's why he's gone with Raya, because he knows Raya's comfortable enough to attempt the pass. I think his execution will improve, and for me, the bigger mistake is that one that led to the Mudryk goal. But those things, in terms of those passes being cut out, managers, they want their goalkeepers to play like this. It's one of the reasons why you're seeing, say, in theory, David De Gea leaving Manchester United and other keepers moving elsewhere, because that's the way they want to play. They want people who are going to be brave enough to make the pass that the manager wants them to play, which goes against, historically, how most goalkeepers would play. And I think as well, from the form perspective, I don't know what's going on in Arteta's head, but one thing I know for sure is that I don't see what they're like in training. Maybe Arteta is forcing them to play those passes, and maybe Raya is more comfortable making them, and maybe he makes fewer mistakes like that. So I think for Arteta, when he sees what he's doing there, maybe that's a big reason as to why he picks him on Saturdays. But I think if you see his confidence drop down, I think that'll be an issue. But for now, as I say, it's not nervous to want to try and play a ball into the midfielder. It's just bad execution when you can't pull it off, when you know that you're capable of doing so. So I'll be interested to see what it's like when the scrutiny is on him now, because as we know, Arsenal aren't Brentford, but he's a good goalkeeper. Arteta trusts him, and he's going to stay in the sticks because there's a reason he brought him in.
All right, so Shaka, it's a good thing you're here, because we're not done talking about goalies.